The perfection program. That's what they call it. It gave me life, but it also caused death. I never asked for any of this. Running from superpowered murderers who want revenge. Revenge for something I did? Something I can't remember. But I won't run. I refuse. I don't want to be controlled anymore. This world needs more heroes than villains. That's more important than anything, isn't it? My existence has to mean something. It has to make a difference somehow. For Virgil. For Aaron. I need to be worth this life I've been given. I need to do what's right. Even if it kills me.
Woohoo! Even if it kills me. Welcome everyone to another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other creators to talk about their projects and their lives and their adventures in the creative fields, because people often invite me to their channels and offer me their time, and I want to do something in return for the community. So usually when I have a guest, I already know them a little bit. I follow their channels, or I know their comics, or I follow their campaigns. In this case, it's someone who's completely new to me. So I know nothing about this person, so this can be very interesting. He goes by the name Pum Spak. So let's bring him on. The mysterious Pum Spak. Welcome, bro.
Hey, what's happening, Brink? How you doing? Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah. Welcome for coming on, man.
Hey, that was a very clever intro, because he said, "Hey, I don't know this guy, so if anything goes bad, we can put it all on him." Right?
Well, yeah. Safety precautions, man. You never know.
Brilliant.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Hey, if it's okay, really quick, I wanted to humbly apologize to another channel, Inkfinity Comics. Alejandro, he welcomed me onto his show, and I had all this stuff come on. So if anybody is around or he happens to be watching, I just want to apologize to him for flaking on him on Monday. But he had a great stream in return, and I'm going to be on his show later. So.
All right. He'll forgive you.
I hope so.
Yeah. I know him. I think he'll forgive you. Look, we all have busy lives, and we have things going on, and it happened to me also that I had this stream I was supposed to be on, and I slept through it. It was not my finest moment, but it sometimes happens.
Yeah. Cool.
So, Mr. Pum Spak. That's not your real name, right?
No, my real name is my real name is David Otterby. Otterby. Pum Spak is just my fun name in the chat. Allows me to feel like I'm a secret superhero or something like that. No, but my name is Dave Otterby, and I live in Los Angeles, and I work in TV and film out here. Most recently, I worked on Rick and Morty as on the production side, but I've worked on action and animation. Actually, I'm in between gigs right now. I'm looking for work, and this week actually picked up like 4 days driving a truck on a film set. So
for Nickelodeon.
Yeah, you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
There's this little dude, Ryan. He's like a little YouTuber who opens up like toys, I think, unboxes videos and does pretty well doing that, I guess. So I picked up a couple days working for that dude.
Excellent, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. In the chat is Thibaut. Welcome, Thibaut. Okay, so you worked in animation and movies. So what did you do there? How did you land into that world? Yeah,
well, you know what? I actually grew up. I'm from New Jersey, and I let me see. How did I get out here? I moved out to Los Angeles when I was 27. So kind of a series of circumstances, but not necessarily a spring chicken by any means, but still young and eager enough to be happily taken advantage of by Hollywood. So I moved out here about when I was 27. I think the spring of 2002, and didn't really have any direction at all. I just wanted to work in TV and film. I love pop culture. I love just media, sci-fi, fantasy, a lot of that kind of stuff. I grew up a huge Marvel Comics fan, and I just wanted to be a part of the industry, and it didn't really matter. And in some ways that hurt me, but in some ways that helped me. And what I mean by that is there are other people who are my age or even younger who knew exactly what they wanted to do when they came out here. And if you look at them now, they're, doing well in their careers. Some people came out and said, I want to work with the camera department. I want to work with sound. I want to do this. I want to be a writer. I just now at 46 years old have the courage to say, hey, I want to be a writer, and maybe that's something that I wanted to do back then, but I just, I wasn't sure, or maybe I wasn't good enough, whatever. So I was just thrilled to be a part of a production or anything creative. And one of my first jobs was a horror film called the word I don't remember the working title. I think it ended up being called Scream Bloody Murder.
That's a great title. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was it was like seven Catholic high school girls on the way to some event, and their van breaks down in the middle in a junkyard in the middle of the desert. And shenanigans ensue. But yeah.
So what did you do there? What did you do for that specific movie?
Well, that specific movie, so it was interesting. I was, so out in LA and Hollywood, an entry level position is called a PA, and that stands for production assistant. And that means that you have no responsibilities at all, but you are also responsible for everything and anything at any given time.
Okay.
And Hollywood takes advantage of PAs. They'll pay them as little as they can, and they'll get them to do whatever they can. And
when something goes wrong, they'll blame you.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, but they will. Some shows are union, some shows are non-union, and then some shows are a mix. And the show that I'm working on this week, as a PA, they have me driving a very, very large truck. That probably should be a union transportation person driving that, but they're able to just kind of skirt that line and have a PA do it. So on Scream Bloody Murder, I was just running around and doing what anybody needed at any given time. So that could be getting waters for the crew, that could be holding with like a flag with like a lighting,
right,
instrument, to help, So they've got you doing everything,
So all you knew was you wanted to work in the movie industry.
Yeah.
But you didn't really know what position. It didn't really matter to you.
Didn't really matter at all.
So did you study something in that direction? Or?
Well, I did. I did have an advantage there. So I went to a school called Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. And I was initially passionate about music. Maybe it's a recurring theme. I wanted to be involved, in bands, but, not have to be a musician, So it's like I want to just be a part of the process, kind of like the thing with movies. But I ended up studying kind of advanced audio engineering for about 2 years at a music business school in Nashville, Tennessee, and just felt like it wasn't for me. I started to not like music after.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, after being in the studio and recording a band of a certain type of music that you may not like, for 12 hours a day, after being in a studio listening, to that kind of music for 12 hours a day, the last thing that you want to do when you get home is listen to more music.
Right.
So it's like I kind of started to. I don't want to say I hate music, but it's like I don't want to listen to it anymore. It wasn't fun.
Right.
So that was a big problem for me. And I changed my focus of study to audio video production. So my major, so I changed. So the same school that I was at had a major for that called audio video production. I majored in that, and that was kind of I'm more of a visual guy, so that was much easier for me. Looking through a camera and being able to hit click. I get that, but when you have to take an instrument and plug it in, and we're looking at waveforms, and we have microphones, and hey, this isn't working properly, what's going on? Oh, we didn't plug this in. Like, it just gets a lot more tricky, where camera is, point and shoot, and I don't know if it's easier for everybody, but it's certainly easier for me, Brink. So I changed my field there, and I minored in art. So I started also just for 4 or 5 years of schooling, or 6.
Yeah, I've seen your art. It's pretty good, man.
Well, that's not actually mine. Okay. You might think differently of mine, but I do a lot of oil painting, figure drawing, photography. I would spend a lot of time in the dark room, developing my own photos, and so just really have a passion for art.
So you do have this skill set, like making music and art. Are these things you could bring to your ambition to work in movies somehow?
Yeah, well, I want to be a creator. So what I want to do is I want to make this comic book called Unemployed Monsters Presents, Fastest Raddest. I know that's a mouthful, but my company, there's a lot of construction going on outside. I apologize if you hear banging here and there, but so my name. Cool. That's good. That's the good filter system. But my company, my name, whatever it is, Unemployed Monsters Presents. That's kind of who so if I do another comic down the road that's not about these characters, it would still be Unemployed Monsters Presents,
right.
Space, whatever.
Well, you need the label. That's cool. You need a brand,
Right.
So.
Right. So it'd be like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you sent me your IMDb list. There are a few people that can tell me that there are on IMDb, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So what did you do for Rick and Morty? I don't know many of these films or series you worked on, but I know that one. I love Rick and Morty, man. Cool,
man. So I was a fan myself before getting hired on the show. So I was working. I bounced around in animation, and one of the first things, just to backtrack a little bit, Brink, just to tell you a little bit about myself.
Sure, man.
So I kind of bounced around in live action, and I eventually burned enough bridges in live action where I had to hightail it to animation. And I worked on this show called The Life and Times of Tim. And that was a really fun experience for me because the creator of the show, Steve Dildarian, who's really funny guy. It's a kind of observational humor, kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm. So there's an
yeah.
Sorry, I just ran through it really quick, but
I just recently started to I've never seen the show Curb Your Enthusiasm, but recently I watched a small documentary on it.
Oh yeah.
About how it's made, and that got me fascinated. So now I'm for the last 2 days I've been watching the short clips on YouTube.
Cool.
It's really funny. Yeah.
So this animated show, it's called The Life and Times of Tim. It prided itself on being made in a similar style, where they kind of went in the studio and just kind of riffed and kind of had fun and improv and kind of played through scenes with a very loose outline,
right?
And then just animated to that. And what was really fun for me is, I had my background in art and I like to draw and doodle. And Steve, the creator of the show, he saw some of my work and said, "Hey, if you want to take a crack at doing any art for the show, by all means, go ahead." I animated I did all the lips on the pilot, did all the mouth movements on the pilot, or for a lot of it for him, and just at least set it up. But what was cool is I did all these drawings of New York City and these interiors and a lot of props and speakers and stereos. And aside from the characters, they used all of my stuff. And one of the most fun thing was they used a drawing I did of New York City as like the main image of the opening credits for all 3 seasons. And so that was a neat opportunity for me to have my art featured on TV.
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. So you got noticed through that work?
Well, not necessarily. So no. So my apologies. We were getting to Rick and Morty. So that was kind of how I got into animation. All right. So now I know people, and now I have some gigs, and now I'm bouncing around a little bit. So I ended up going to a studio called Rough Draft, who does Futurama. I worked on a little bit of that show, but spent most of my time on a British show that was very short-lived I think it was called Happy Families. They might have changed the name to it, they might have changed the name to that. Worked on the Napoleon Dynamite cartoon, and from there bounced around to another couple studios. Sorry, I get there. So yeah, I ended up landing at Rick and Morty on season 3. But I work on so I'm on the production side, more of the producer aspect. I want to get more into the creative realm or be more of a creative producer type, more of the writing. But I was more on the side of managing the production. So I'm the middleman between the producer and the 75-person crew.
Right.
So it's like, my producer is dealing with the creators. He's hanging out with, Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, and I'm the middleman between him and, we're talking, the writers, animators, designers, post, people at the record studio, our directors, revisionists, just many departments, and just wearing a lot of hats throughout that production. So I worked on seasons 3, 4, and 5, and don't ask me about season 5 because I hard to keep my mouth shut. I don't want to spoil it for you.
No.
But what was fun for me is the first ever episode I worked on was called Pickle Rick, and
that's a famous one. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my first experience, and the enthusiasm in the office was, as fun as I think some of the fan reaction was. We were all excited for that script, and the scene when Pickle Rick is just killing all the rats. I had to assign all those designs out to the artist, and I wanted the first person to see these images coming in. So I had a really fun time working on that season. But season 3, ends, and I get promoted to production manager for season 4. Season 4 ends, I get promoted to associate producer for season 5, and that's wrapped up now. And there's just stuff going on in between. But I'm looking for new work. Like I said, I picked up that gig driving a truck for a little YouTuber, and I just had another interview this morning with like a Warner Brothers show, so I might just be bouncing from that. But yeah.
Excellent, man.
That's where I'm at right now.
Fantastic. So isn't it difficult to because you're never certain you have work, right?
Yeah.
Is it difficult to manage?
Yeah, it's tiresome. As you get older, it gets more and more difficult. So Rick and Morty was cool because it was steady work for a while, and now I'm in a position where I need to find new work, and that can be hard. So I'm always saying, man, this I think this is my last show. I think after this one, I'm done, and I'm gonna try and find something more steady. So that is stressful, and luckily when you're working, you don't have to think about it. But I'm in a situation right now where I am. But for the most part, Brink God has been good and has provided, you know, a new job before, you know, things get too terrible.
Right, man. So, and now you are trying out writing. So you want to write because you have some ideas.
Yeah, I don't want to say trying out like, oh, like he's got nothing else going on, so he's just going to try it. You know, I want to say I
didn't mean it like that, man. But,
I don't intend that he did. You know, but or maybe I did, and that's why I brought it up. No, if for your viewers, but it's I love story. I absolutely love story. So like when I do like my drawings, it's like I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland or Disney World, but there's this one room, man, in the Haunted Mansion. All right, you go in the Haunted Mansion and there's this one room and it's kind of like a tight circle and there's all these paintings on the wall of all these different people. And the Haunted Mansion is this ghost or this narrator is telling you, he starts telling you this story about how these people in these paintings aren't necessarily great people. And as he's telling the story, the walls, like the floor actually goes down and reveals that you're in like a 20-foot room, you know, but it's just this weird optical illusion while you're in there because it's so dark you can't tell. But as this narrator is talking about these people in these paintings, the paintings start getting longer and longer and revealing more to the image. And the image, it's like nothing but story. So one of them, it's like a tightrope walker. And that's all you can see is her in the tightrope walker. But as the canvas comes down, you see down below, there's an alligator just waiting for her to fall. You know, and that one, it just stood out. And all these other images, it's a situation like that. So like just looking at the image, there's story. And as the viewer, you can kind of come up with your own idea of how they got there or why the alligator wants to eat her or whatever it is. But I love when there is story in art.
Right.
And my older brother at a young age introduced me to Marvel Comics. And so I really just fell in love with sequential art, you know, and film in its own right, you know, technically frame by frame, film is sequential art.
Yes.
You know, video is a little different because it's, you know, digital, it's not that analog, but to say the phrase again, sequential art, I absolutely love it. So to take that one image of story and put another one next to it and another one next to it, and without words, you can, you know.
Yeah, like storyboarding, you know. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I love it. I'm absolutely love that medium, and I've been wanting to tell some sort of story for a long time. And I think I've just to say like, hey, I'm a writer. I don't know if that for me, maybe that just sounded pretentious, and it's nothing that I ever felt that I was even, you know, dignified enough maybe even to say those words. But
yeah,
I guess technically I am. Once you start writing something, you are a writer. So
right.
I need to be confident in that and say it's and to your statement earlier, it's not something I'm trying, it's something I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know?
Good, man. Welcome, Bristolian Dave. All right, me babbers. Yes.
What's up, Bristolian Dave?
Okay, so this story you've been writing, that's fastest Raddest?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I bring up the pre-launch page, or do you have something else you want to show?
That'd be great. I'd love if you bring up the pre-launch page.
All right, we'll do that.
And then I have some images I can bring up too, and
awesome,
and show off as well.
All right. Tell us a little bit about this story.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So I guess just looking at the image here, I don't even know if you can tell who the good guys are or the bad guys are, but I guess for those watching, on the left we have one of our bad guys. See, he's got that brain sticking out of his head with the chain attached to it.
Yep.
And then over on the right, those are our protagonists, so to speak. But the story is about it's everything, Brink. You know, I kind of want to have like a Simpsons type world where there's all these different characters in it. I'd say that my influence for this story is like Richard Scarry children's books, and maybe like some Saturday morning cartoons type characters. But to get to the point about the plot in this story is it's about art. It's about art and music and creating things and also getting a little.
Yeah. Coincidentally, all the things you like. You like music, you like art, and you like creating stuff. So
Yeah, and I'm kind of tiptoeing around the story here, but
yeah, you don't want to give away too much.
It's not necessarily that. I don't know, but I want to tell it in an interesting fashion. But it's really about these three kids, and I guess I've named them CJ, Clive, and Whammo.
Yeah.
And it's about they're passionate about music. They have their own band. They're a little 3-piece garage band. I'd compare them, whatever you think is whatever the coolest 3-piece rock band you can think of, that's who they are. For me, I like punk music. I like high energy punk and metal. I like everything. So to me, these kids are like maybe the Descendants, like a 1980s Southern California band. They might be like kind of Nirvana, like something like Nirvana, early Nirvana to some.
Right.
Just like a garage band that's just rocking and they're doing their own thing. So these dudes are just like, they're in high school or I haven't decided they look young enough, but they're in school and they're walking to and from and they hear stuff on the radio. They're like, they think, Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber and pop music, they kind of think that stuff is trash. And not that it is, everything has its place, but they're walking around going, dude, everybody I know, everybody at school, every single person I know says they hate Bieber, they hate Taylor Swift, they hate Ariana Grande. If that's the case, why is it so popular? Why is it on the radio so much? If everybody hates it so much, why is everybody buying?
Yeah, good question. So
they realize, they think something more sinister is going on there, and it turns out that they're right. There's, a factory in town that kind of there's a like a Smithers type, who owns a nuclear power plant from The Simpsons, maybe a bit bigger than that. Not only just the power plant, but he owns, Moe's Tavern, and he owns, the school. Essentially, this individual owns every single thing in the town, and is just creating, kind of phony music. It sounds good, it's catchy, people love it, but it's mindless. Kind of like the Lego movie, like the everything is awesome. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun to sing and it's great, but it's it's corny. Right. It's corny, and that's kind of the world they live in. And they kind of accidentally start to uncover, some of that and end up fighting and getting, messing with, the local venue. And it's about them trying to, create their own art in a system that controls art and tells you what it should look like.
Okay, cool. So it's a 48-page comic. So how much of this comic is done?
As of right now, about, I'd say like 99% of the line art is done and color has started. So Brink, what I wanted to do is this book has been going on. I've been working on this for a while, not as a Comicsgate and Indiegogo fan and supporter. I want these books just as much as everybody else. I know what it's like to sign up for a book and wait. And
yeah, this is true. Some books take a long time to get there from the end of the campaign to the customer. Sometimes too long.
Yeah, and listen, this is not a knock. This is not a knock on the big guys, but EVS Wrecked Planet, Shane Davis, Starlight Cats, Dan Fraga's Pineapple Perception, those were all launched quite a bit ago. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited. I'm not mad, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And me as somebody new, I don't know that I have that luxury to say, hey, look at my book and then wait a long time.
Yeah.
I don't want to use luxury. I don't, you know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not trying to insult anybody.
I get it.
But if I want to if I want to be a part of this forum, I know we don't like the word community, but if I want to try to make a good book or a good CG book, I think I need to impress on a lot of levels, and not just with the writing and the art, but the campaign as well. And I don't want people to forget about me. I want to launch this book. I want to have it in your hands, and I want people saying, "Hey, where's the next one?"
Yeah, it's that first impression matters, especially your first campaign. If people like it, they will come back for the next one. So it's pretty important that you get it right.
So my focus has been just making the book. So I'm going to make the book regardless. I'm probably going to set a $500 goal, and hopefully I get that. But yeah, and like you said, some people might not even back it because they're apprehensive to see if I can actually back a book. So if I can launch a book and have it in your hands, shortly after those first 60 days, and while it's in demand, people say, "Oh, hey, I got it, and it's good." That could be beneficial for me to have it ready. Really ready to go by the time I launch.
And when will you launch?
I'm not sure, Brink. I was hoping to launch June 1st. But it's the way things go. But the guy who I have painting the book right now, doing the color on it, he's got everything in his hands, and it's just
So
I don't want to launch it until the color's done. So that could be the end of the month, but I imagine he'll be done in the next month or two.
Right.
With the color, but it's hard for me because I want to be on top of it and be like, oh, I'm marketing, I have my this, and I have a plan, but I'm new. I'm a new creator, and I'm learning, and a lot of it's baby steps for me. So I wish I had an answer to say I'm launching August 1st. That's when I'm launching, but.
Yeah, real life happens. Yeah,
and so just to be kind of open and out there is, I don't know, man, and I'm kind of I'm trying to do my thing, but I'm also I'm scared, and I'm trying to get it done, and I'm trying to manage people behind the scenes, and just trying to make it all look good, and I'm doing it for myself, but I want people to like it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you have a trustworthy colorist, he can deliver like 2 or 3 pages per week, then you can calculate that the book is done at some point.
Yeah.
And you could start the campaign earlier, before everything is finished, like say 50% colored, and then you have like 2 months you can still use during the campaign to finish it up.
Yeah,
that's something you could consider.
Yeah, ideally. So I'm working. My whole team is kind of new, and I don't want to push anybody right now, and I'm going through my stuff. So so we're all first time creators. So to be honest, the color is going at a slower pace than I initially expected.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm having trouble with it. And I felt like it could have or should have or whatever have been done sooner, but I'm not in a rush to get it done.
Hey, man, you already have people signing up, like Bristolian Dave.
Hey, thank you, Bristolian Dave.
So we got faith, man. We got faith in you.
Cool, thank you.
But indeed, you should take it on your own pace. Release it or start this campaign when you think you're ready to reduce your own stress. Because the campaign itself, that's very stressful.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I found out. So
cool, man. Let me see.
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have this question. What do you get when you sign up? Besides the updates, is there something extra for people that sign up and back the campaign?
Brink, I've thought about that a little bit, quite a bit. I'm making a really good book. I'm making a really quality book, and I've got that piece you see right there. So one of the best character designers at Rick and Morty is doing my design for me.
Right.
I've got the art director at Final Space. I don't even know if you're familiar with that show. It's
Final Space, yeah. That's pretty cool.
I've got the art director of Final Space doing a variant cover for me.
Man, you got the best people.
I don't know what I want to give people. I want to give people something, but for me, it's really about putting out a good book. I'm gonna do cardstock cover, that kind of thing. I want to offer certain things. It's gonna be a quality, but I'm putting staples in it. I'm a comic book guy, so it's gonna be quote unquote. Right. It's gonna be a floppy, but I'm not a trading card guy, and I'm not really a print guy unless it's a quality print. So I'm saying, dude, if we hit a number, I'll screen print handbills. You know what I mean? We'll do something special, but I don't know that I want to just be. I don't know that I can or necessarily want to be giving people stuff for quote unquote signing up. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. I need it. I need all the signups, but I don't really know what to do there. I want to add on to the book, and my main thing. I know this is dreaming big. I live in Los Angeles. I rent my apartment from a Hispanic family that lives right here. I've been here for over 10 years, and they have taken me in and treated me as one of their own. And LA is, very, there's predominantly Hispanic in a lot of its areas. What I really want to do, and this may not be your thing or people's thing, whatever, but if I can hit a certain mark, whether it be 20K or 25K, I'm going to have the book translated in Spanish and include it with the book you already bought. So if you spend $25, if we hit 25K, you're getting 2 books no matter what.
Right.
If we hit 50K, these are numbers I'm just saying right now. I'm not dreaming that big. But I want to also include, I'm going to print the same book, digest sized, for manga fans. So you have the potential of getting 3 comic books for your $25.
Right.
If I can hit certain numbers. That's what I want to do.
Sure.
But as far as something for signing up right off the get-go, I don't know what to do. I'm open to ideas, and maybe making a little print, but I just think the book is going to be special, and I have another really kind of big time artist who, if I can do a little more convincing, is going to do a centerfold for me. He's really big in like the skate community, the skateboard community, and the street art community. And if I can get him to do this, it'll be really cool.
Okay.
But I'm a big CG guy, and I'm trying to do something a little different. It's not a superhero book. It's my own thing, but I'm also trying to bring.
Oh, sure, man. Many people do not do superhero books, but that's totally fine. Welcome to the show, Hicks Villain. Hicks Villain says, "Go for the trading card. People like them, even if you don't."
Okay. I'm down. I hear you.
And he also advises that it's a good idea to have the book mostly done. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
So you wanted to share some art with us?
Absolutely. I'd love to. I have. So let me see. What do I got to do? So let me see.
There's a share button below.
All right. Share screen. Oh, shoot. What am I doing here?
Excellent. So these are artworks from someone you hired, right, to make designs and stuff.
Yeah. So, is that sharing on my end or no? Not yet.
There we go.
Cool. So these are my main bad guys, and it's kind of funny. I didn't intend this, but I'm saying not every villain is going to have a hole on the left side of their head.
Yeah.
But
it's very cartoony. You can tell you have this history in animation. It has that style.
Yeah. So this is these are 2 of my bad guys. The guy on the left there, that is Frequency Jones. So I want to do a lot of music nods here and there, music history nods and stuff like that. So there's a famous music producer and musician, Quincy Jones. And
Yeah.
so this is Frequency Jones. And so this guy, so this is an evil scientist. He works for, our main bad guy who owns the factory thing that I was telling you about earlier. And Frequency Jones, he comes up with different inventions to kind of like make catchy music to make, you know what I mean? So he's able to, he has a secret lair. He kidnaps and captures, creative talent and puts them in a machine and will like suck their energy out and take their creative energy and put it into, this manufactured pop band.
Yeah.
But right now in the first issue, he's working on a weapon called the pop gun or the bop gun. And this gun, if you shoot a shitty musician with the bop gun, they can kind of learn how to create, really catchy, shitty music that sounds good.
Okay.
So, but he's got this dial. He basically has a transistor radio kind of sticking onto his head. So what he did as a scientist, he did some experiments on himself, and he attached the transistor radio to his head. So what happens is anything that he can dial or tune into, it's kind of like the Matrix when they plug in and they learn how to like fly a helicopter. He can tune that dial to the science radio station and just absorb the information through the airwaves. The problem is he's become kind of scatterbrained and crazy because he might fall asleep and the dial will turn to the Mexican comedy station, and he'll learn all that by accident. But he's kind of this evil henchman who's kind of off to his side working on experiments to make art, so to speak, evil art.
Yeah.
Behind the right is that's Chain Brain. He's the muscle. He's kind of like the bouncer and the security guard for the evil band. The evil band is called Gleemo, and so our kids and their band, Garage Band, they're going against Gleemo. Gleemo is the evil band in town. This guy on the right, Chain Brain, is the bouncer for Gleemo, and his thing. He used to have a horn where his brain is sticking out, but his horn broke off, leaving a big hole in his head. And the problem was that we'd send Chain Brain out to go like, hey, go rough up those guys and make them buy tickets. He'd walk over there, his brain would fall out of his head, go bouncing down the street. Like a zombie, we got to go find the brain, put it in there. So what the bad guys did, what Frequency Jones came up with, is said, hey, we put a collar on him and put a chain on the brain. When it falls out, it'll just be dangling here. So you can just easily just put it right back in. So it still falls out and he still becomes incapacitated, but we don't have to go looking for it anymore. We just shove it right back in there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so that's Chain Brain. Let me see. What else we got? So this is our family. This is our main kid is on the left here. That's CJ. That's his dad, and that's his, let me see, this is his little sister, Ula. So this is just a little model sheet for her. So her hair is also like alive and kind of sentient, like she can talk to it, like her hair is its own monster.
So why are these all monsters?
Well, you know what? I'm actually, they're not necessarily monsters. It kind of well, I guess they are. But I want to actually, even though I'm Unemployed Monsters Presents, I want to actually try to stay away from monsters in my world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I would say these are more critters, creeps, mutants, and freaks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like monsters, I don't want to get into rules. Hey, I got a werewolf, and when the moon comes out, what's he gonna do? Hey, that guy's blue and he looks like Dracula. Like, when is he going to turn into a bat and kill somebody? I don't want to deal with any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
But initially, that's kind of where it started. Initially, I was like, oh, like a little Frankenstein kid, a Dracula kid. But as I was kind of writing and building the world, I don't want to be a part of that world at all. I just want to, do my own thing. So.
Right. Brazilian Dave says, I could definitely see this as an animated TV show. Yeah, me too.
Let's do it. Let's make it and watch it, Bristolian Dave. So this is the evil band here. This is Gleemo. It's the lead singer, the bass player, the guitar player, and then the dude on the right is the keyboard player. So the thing that makes Gleemo stand out is they do not have a drummer. You know, they're all synthesizer and
Okay. Yeah.
Let me see, what else do I got? So you can see like my original coloring on this dude was more Frankenstein-like.
Yeah.
But I'm getting, he's gray now. I want to just do a really colorful world, and I'm trying to get away from that kind of coloring. But he's really fun. So this is Clive on the left, and this is, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but that's he has.
We can't see your mouse. No.
Yeah, he has pink hair, but that red thing underneath, like that's an open wound on his head. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then these would be their. I'm trying to move the wrong thing. And then over here on the right, my screen right, is their. Those are their love interests, I guess, or those are three of the.
Yeah, the group.
Yeah, but in the first issue, we're still learning a lot of people. But there's a couple other things I'm going to save for another time there. But yeah, let me see what else. Man. Yeah, so I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Maybe pull up a little bit more color or something I can show you.
Look great. Those designs work very well. So.
I'm just gonna give me just a moment. I'll pull up some of the line art to show you.
Sure, man. So for people watching, you can sign up to the pre-launch page to Unemployed Monsters Presents Fastest Raddest, and the link to this campaign is also in the description to this video. So it looks really cool, this art style. And then we have this one.
Hey, and Brink, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day and supporting creators and allowing me to come on the show. I really appreciate it, man. So
I like seeing new stuff and new creators pop up and with their ideas, and we need to help each other, man.
Yeah, cool, man. So this is the first page. So here's some of the line art, interior art that's not colored yet for the book. So this is these are the local town or this is Gleemo fans who are hungry to buy a ticket for Gleemo. Which is the equivalent of like Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande combined. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is them, and down here we've got Frequency Jones spying on the venue that they own. So it's their band, their venue, and they're just trying to watch from a distance to make sure everything goes okay. And then if we look at the next page here, hopefully we're not spoiling too much for anybody, but the next page here we get a chance to see Gleemo.
Yeah, that art is great, man, and it is an art that needs color, so it brings it more alive, but it looks really good, man.
Cool, and nothing is final at the moment, but let me see. I was gonna go ahead and got a couple more things here.
Yeah,
at least two more images I could show you before. Let me see here what we got. So this one I'm gonna have to recolor this, Brink, because I remember I want to change his color. So this green dude back here is now, he's gonna be gray.
Yeah.
This blue guy here looks more like an avocado. But if you see this dude, he reads as a ghost. You know what I mean?
Which one?
Yeah, I think this guy here.
Oh yeah.
But when I show you the new color, I'm getting away from that. So I'm trying to get away from monsters. But if anybody interested in the process, these are the colors that these guys have been for the last 2 years or so while I've been developing this on my own before I started kind of pushing it. And at the last minute, I'm going, I'm not happy with that, and I want him to not be a ghost. I want him to just look like a goopy, translucent dude. And I'll show you the colors of what happened there. But this piece is really fun. This is an actual painting, a ghost painting that Justin Noel, one of the best character designers from Rick and Morty, did for me. You can see
phenomenal. It's phenomenal, man.
Frequency Jones up here, and here's the venue. We've got Gleemo hanging out up here, and then Chain Brain ready to mess with anybody who tries to mess with him.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm just gonna stop sharing for one more moment here, Brink, and just pull up.
Yeah, of course.
Let me see.
Let me see. I put the link also in the chat.
So these are the new colors, whether you like it or not. So it for me it was a little bit jarring, but I played with it a lot. But the world is going to be very colorful, so I need, instead of being more Frankenstein-like, this is just a dude now. He doesn't read as Frankenstein. He just reads as a dude, and by him being gray, that's going to allow a lot of the color to pop behind him. I can put CJ in front of him, and they won't clash. So from a color standpoint, that's going to help me out a lot. And this dude right here, he does not read as a ghost anymore, at least for me. He just likes like a goopy little. He could be an alien. He could be like a little shit emoji guy. Like he could be whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm really got the caffeine kicking in over here. I'm really trying to just do my own thing and kind of create my own world and just have fun with it. And I hope people enjoy it as well. If I go back, so those are my guys. If I go back here, I've got one color page ready here dialed up. I can show you guys. Is that coming through?
Yep.
So this is not final, and may see a little bit, but this is just one of my characters sitting and talking pages. I know we're trying to get away from that kind of stuff in CG, but this is kind of what
we do.
I'm kidding. I'm messing around. People like Brian Michael Bendis always has his characters sitting around talking, doing nothing.
Yeah, but that's too much, man. You don't need to take pointers from Brian Michael Bendis. Right.
But so this is early color of just them hanging out, having a conversation at school, just being like, man, why do we want to be better than Gleemo, we gotta practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have your letterer set.
I'm talking to Eric Weathers.
Right. Oh, you go to Eric Weathers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Awesome, man. It looks great, and yeah, you need to be satisfied with your designs and your color sets before you actually put them in the book and put them out there. Once they're out there, it's canon.
Right.
Then you can't change it, man. That's yeah. But it looks fantastic. The concept is fun. The designs are really cool. It has that animated vibe going on. So this is a one book. So is this one story, or will it be a series?
I would very much like it to be a series. So I'm writing. I mean, the second issue is pretty much written already. At least the first, second, third draft. What I do is I storyboard the book out first myself, and then take my thumbnails and pass that to an artist. So my vision is a bit more clear. Mm-hmm. So the second one, it's in many regards well underway. I'm trying to get. It's more all ages. Hicks villain.
Yeah.
More all ages, but I'm not. But there's going to be topics in there that I'm not going to tiptoe around necessarily. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to write the book and determine what people want to do with it. But there's certainly not going to be like open drug use or vulgarity or sexual content for the most part.
Right.
But I'm going to one of the things I'm trying to figure out how to deal with in an appropriate way is it's implied that the mother is dead. She the mom is out of the picture, at least as far as the kids know and everything. But not only is it implied that the mom is dead, it's implied that the dad may have killed her or had a hand in her disappearance. So that may not be the actual truth of what happened, but that's what the kids believe their dad did. So So there's going to be themes in there that, I could see parents saying, oh, I don't want my kid reading that. It's not an all ages book. Well, then it's not all ages. So my statement is that this book is all fucking ages.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, but the first issue will be one story though, and then the next issue will be a follow-up story, like these episodic releases.
Yeah,
or is it one longer story?
I'm scared to admit it. I'm leaving. The first one's got a bit of a cliffhanger to it, Brink. But
That's cool.
But it's gonna be, the next one is gonna be going. So by the time people are saying like, hey, when is the second issue coming out? They're gonna be able to sign up for the launch page.
Right, of course, yeah.
But I've got 48 pages. It's, some people put pinups in the back and this and that. I might have one or two, but I've got a solid 35, 36-ish plus story right now. So even though it ends on a cliffhanger, you're getting a lot of fun, good stuff in between the beginning of my quote unquote cliffhanger. And then I've also, right now, I'm wrapping up an additional 8-page story. Now this might be somebody saying, oh, on another campaign, hey, if we hit 5,000 whatever, we'll have someone do an 8-page additional story. I'm making a good book. You know what I mean? I'm making a good book. So it's already going to have in the back an 8-page little prequel story from a man named Orlando Velez. He's an artist on Rick and Morty who's now working on a different show, but he's drawn out this really, really cool story about, the earlier days of when CJ was born and his sister and when his mom was still around, as far as he knew,
And this will be in the same book?
Yeah, this will be in the same book. So there will be...
So you have 48 pages for this book?
Yeah.
For this story, and then you get additional...
No, I'm sorry. So the whole, as of right now, the whole entire book will be 48 pages full color.
Okay.
So I'll probably have about, at least a 35-page story, at least an 8-page additional story. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll see what the rest is, but there'll be very little, just kind of like trying to like filler, so to speak,
Right. So did you encounter any challenges while writing this, story-wise or structure-wise, or with building the script specifically for comic book format? Yeah,
you know what? It's again, I'm a new creator, and people are saying, hey, you have to have an editor, you have to have this, you have to do that. Like I needed a little forgiveness there, because I'm still, just doing this for the first time. But I'm fortunate to have built a somewhat cool relationship with the dude who's doing the line art. So when he was doing it, he was actually going like, hey, it doesn't totally make sense to me. I'm going, oh, really? So having another set of eyes has been beneficial in that regard. And for me, I'm trying to say this without sounding weird. For me to allow him, because some people will say, oh no, this is my story, I'm sticking with it. But I'm like, oh dude, tell me that's not working. Okay, cool. Tell me, can you help me try and fix it together? So it's actually been cool with him helping me work out some of the story ideas in there to just make sure that the story flows from beginning to end. And
right. Yeah, it's cool to have someone to bounce ideas off.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's really me. So it's really me coming up with it, and I've worked in scripted television for quite a bit, so I'm trying to do kind of like, almost treat it like that, like having like, an interesting intro, like a cold open,
right,
and then an A plot and a B plot, and then let's bring it home at the end, so it just feels, so the pacing is good and it just feels kind of like a concise story.
Right. Cool, man. Well, it sounds awesome. It sounds fun. I love the artwork and the concept, and I'll be signing up for sure. So people, please check out this preview page, the pre-launch page. The link is in the description to this video, and you can also still back Perfect 10 issue 2 for as long I still have stretch goal items available. Once they're gone, then it's closed down.
Cool.
Cool. So I want to thank the chat for watching and for the questions. I want to thank my guest, Pum Spak. Thank you very much for being here, man.
Thank you, man. This was amazing, and I just the opportunity to hang out and meet you and talk about this. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Can you to close off? Can you tell people where they can find you?
Oh, yeah, man. Brink, I'm terrible at all of this. You know, even like I'm trying to make a YouTube channel, but my everything is Pum Spak. So my Instagram is at Pum Spak. My Twitter is at Pum Spak. My YouTube channel is at Pum Spak. I think I have 8 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 10. Maybe I might have 10. But you know,
cool.
that all that stuff is hard for me, and I think I guess I'm gonna cross that marketing bridge when I get to it. When I have the book in my hands and I have to try to sell it, but man, I'm scared and tired, and you know, I'm just trying to do all this. It's you know, it's hard.
It's scary, man, and it's hard, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, guys, follow Pum Spak on social media, and I'll be back next Sunday, same time, same channel, with a mystery guest. So hope to see you there.
Cool. Later.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.